wanting to move out of Seattle, the Western Washington area, because ever since I've been here, every time I came and visited here when I was a child with my mom to visit her mom from Spokane, beautiful Spokane, Washington. I was born in Moses Lake. Felt disenfranchised there. Felt like it was just like Western Washington. People were rude and mean and cold and tried to make fun of me because I had red hair. And and then I go to Spokane and it's like, hey, people are like, hey, you're cool. They're accepting of me. We want to hang out with you. We appreciate you. I got teachers who are being positive. There's like a vibrance here. There's like a life here in Spokane. I lived there for 10 years of my life. Have a lot of friends, have a lot of great memories. Okay, girls are girls. Girls are hypergamous. They want the bad boy. But it's still a different vibe. Right? Get into some trouble with my friends. Things get a little serious. My friends start to run around with gangs. Start to sell drugs. Start to do drugs. Start to have guns. Okay. I need to change the scenery. This is getting a little over the top. So I move over to Seattle with my brothers. Don't get the worst impression of it. It's all right, I suppose. Don't really also get a vibe of the people, though. It's just a big city. Takes me a while to really figure it out. Of course, I visited a few times, and that's where I got the initial impressions that it wasn't terrible. But then I moved here, and all of a sudden it was raining every day. All of a sudden there was no more sun. It was overcast. 9 months out of the year. Oh shit. What are the girls like? I don't even know. It's like, you gotta pay to play, man. They're all totally different type of girl. I mean, they're still girls, but they seem different than girls in Spokane. Girls in Spokane seem to at least still be kind of cool, at least still to be kind of down to earth, even though girls are girls. They're hypergamous. They want that money. They want that bad boy, right? You can't just be yourself and they'll love you, right? Either they want money or they want the bad boy. That's it. That's how girls are. Of course, maybe you'll meet some nice ones who are friendly and smiley, but not in Seattle. At least for me, never. And I've been dating a lot. So, within a year, I'm pining back. I want to go back to Spokane. It's okay at first. First couple of years, although I had personal hardships, it was all right. It wasn't terrible until I moved back to Spokane. And I was like, all right, cool. Now I'm happy. Now I'm back in Spokane. I still wanted to move back. It wasn't terrible. But then when I moved back, I was like, yes, this is my place. This is where I need to be. Spokane. So I'm back in Spokane. I'm going to church, loving God. Everything's good. Living with a young couple. The guy's kind of a mentor to me. He's fatherly, supportive, positive, and we have these talks. We're talking about women. We're talking about, how can, like Spencer. His name was Spencer. I'm like, Spencer, how can I, I want love. How can I do it? And he was trying to hint to me. He was like, when I was younger, I wanted love too, and there was this girl that I wanted to love, and And I thought, if there's any way that it can happen, I would marry her now. I would marry her right away if there's any way it could happen. And that was all he said at that time. And I thought about it. And I realized his parents gave him a house. His parents let him take over the rent. And all he had to do was have a job. So he became a jeweler. Low level, obviously. He wasn't like a jewel trader or anything. He just was the jewel maker. He set diamonds and rings and soldered the gold or whatever it is that jewelers do on that level. And he paid his mortgage. He paid his rent. And then all of a sudden, a woman appeared. How coincidental. Gee, she just appeared when he started paying a lease. Isn't that funny? Okay. And he told me about how he met her, and that she said his name and she was like, Spencer. I don't even know. Right. That's what he said. I don't know how she was or what scenario it was, but she was just like, Spencer, and she said his name, and he realized that it was love. Right. Of course, someone had probably told her that he's a jeweler. Someone had probably told her that he was paying a lease on a house. So they got married and she went and lived with him. And I have no idea what she did. I know she went to college at one point, Whitworth University, but I have no idea what she did. I think it was some silly degree like interior design or something nutty like that. They didn't talk about what she did. They didn't talk about if she worked or not. She stayed home and she took care of their two kids. And I didn't question it because I was going to church. I was just trying to be a good church guy and loving God. And, you know, I was 20 years old. So I wasn't like, you know, in the know about how life works or anything like that. I just knew that I wanted to go to church and I wanted to live in Spokane and I wanted to maybe be a teacher. I was going to college to be a teacher. So I thought I had passion for helping people learn about things, which I kind of do. Of course, it didn't work out because I got sick at one point. But before that happened, I met a girl in the church. And I wanted to love her, and I had a big crush on her. And finally, I got her number, which was never that hard for me to get girls' numbers. It's like they always were interested in me up until the point that they realized I didn't have anything going for me. They realized I wasn't a bad boy. They realized I was a nice guy. They realized I wanted to love them and I didn't just want to fuck them. So they were like, what am I going to do with this guy? Right? That's how it goes, right? Until I learned how to be a bad boy. Until I learned how to try to fuck them. And then they wanted me. Then they wanted to love me. Then they were infatuated with me once I gave them that good dick. Right? That's how it always goes, yeah? So I got her number. We talked. Still going to church. Still going to college at this time. Right? Standing up and praising God in the church meetings, reading my Bible, loving God, talking to God, having a good relationship with God. Everything's going great. Loving Spokane, talking to this girl, and she just doesn't feel like there's any chemistry. She doesn't, I guess, although I don't know if I felt that. I just was trying to get to know her, and she was in the church. And I just wasn't, I'm not the normal type of guy. I'm not the like, I didn't have any game at that point. I didn't know how to talk to girls. I didn't know how to, right? So, you know, I'm kind of nervous. I'm kind of like shy, and that's not attractive, right? So about, 4 months later, barely, probably not even that, maybe 3 months later, she meets this guy who's a white knight, or I shouldn't say a white knight, I should say a knight in shining armor. He's blonde and good looking, and he just happened to graduate, right? Just happened to graduate. And right when he graduates, he meets her. How coincidental. And he's going to be a physical trainer. He went to WSU Pullman and got his 2-year degree, bachelor's degree as a physical trainer. which means he's going to train athletes, get paid for it. Maybe train players for the Seahawks or hockey team or whatever, right? Got all that knowledge, and he becomes a physical trainer, and he's her hero. And for whatever fucked up odd reason, because we had meetings at that house that I was living at with Spencer and his wife and his family. We had these young people's meetings or college meetings, probably that's why it happened. She brings this guy over to Spencer's house. Just out of the blue. Maybe she felt that she wanted to show Spencer an appreciation and show Spencer that I appreciate you having me over to your college meetings, and here's my man, here's my prize that I've gotten now. And he's the man of my dreams, and I just want to show him off to you for whatever reason this happened. Right? Maybe that's what she was thinking. I don't know. I'm conjecturing. And then just a beautiful thing. Spencer comes down. He says, "Oh, come up and talk. Jen Clark is here." And I'm thinking, okay. Her name is Jennifer Clark. Or it was. Now it's Jennifer whatever Smith, whatever that guy's last name was. Right? So I go up and I'm like, what's this all about? And here's Jennifer Clark with her new fiance. And he's just sitting there like a trophy. Sitting there like he's the prize. Wow, she got her guy. And for whatever reason, it just gets shoved in my face. And I'm sitting there like, what the fuck am I doing? What the fuck am I doing here? Right? My heart's obviously broke. You can probably see it on my face. Right? I'm like, what? I don't understand. Like, what is this? Is this a joke? Is this candid camera? Why are you, you know, it's like a bad movie, or it's like one of those movies where the nerd gets his heart crushed by his crush, right? It's exactly what it was. And I'm just like, what the fuck is this? I'm sitting here loving God, praying for a wife, praying for God to take care of me, praying that I'll be able to graduate, praying that I'll have a good job so I can have a life, because I knew I had been sick, you know, before that, but I was still kind of able to go to college and stuff, praying that it would still all work out. She brings, and I'm talking to her. I had her number. I was talking to her for a while. I was interested in her. And she's just like, oh, I just don't think this is going to work out. I don't think this is working. I said, this isn't working. That's what she said. She's like, this is her words exactly. This just isn't working. Well, sorry, I'm not a fucking player yet. I don't know how to talk to you yet. I don't know how to charm you. I don't know how to act like a bad boy. I don't know how to. But beyond that, I didn't have the career. I didn't have the credentials to talk to this woman. And okay, maybe he was better looking than me. I don't know. Even though I was in better shape then than I am now. And I've gotten a lot of girls since then. At least physically, I've gotten girls. And he was kind of a chubby guy too. I mean, he had muscle tone, but he was kind of a chubby guy. So I think I was in better shape than him. I was taller than him, but he had a nice blonde head of hair, and he was a good looking guy. Maybe better looking than me, I don't know. But he had that vibe about him. You know, these guys, they got these vibes like they just kind of feel like they're the shit, and they walk around like I'm the winner. He had that vibe about him, and that hurt even more, because I was like, oh shit, dude. Here I am trying to give you my heart. Here I am trying to love you, and then you choose your little knight in shining armor. It's like, what am I supposed to do? What did you supposed to just sit there and like watch as my heart melts, watch as my heart fucking breaks in 50 pieces? And it's like, why did they invite me upstairs? I mean, obviously Spencer didn't know. I had never told him that I was talking to her, you know, her on the phone. I had never told him that this was going on, you know, between her and I, that I had a crush on her for a few months, and I finally got her number and I was talking to her. I never told him that. Of course, because he was kind of my mentor type of guy, I was trying to talk to him a little bit about girls and stuff, and he would always say really vague things like, you know, well, women are different. Women are just different than men, and then he said something one time. He said, women are expensive. And that's probably one of the truest statements everyone's ever said to me about women. He said, women are expensive. And like I said, he didn't talk much about it, right? He just knows you need to be able to afford a woman. They're like a commodity. They're like a product that you buy. You got to be able to afford one. So me, only being in my first year of college, going to be a teacher, not really laying it out there to her like, I'm the prize, I'm the winner, hey, I got my degree, I got this, I got that, right? She didn't want me because it's a fucking, it's a market. To get a woman, it's a market. You have to have the money. You have to be able to afford one. I didn't know this at that time. I had this blue pill narrative. I still had this, oh, a woman's gonna love me for me kind of concept. And they never did. Either you're a bad boy and you act like a bad boy, and you act like you have a lot of abundance and you can take her or leave her and you don't need her, and then she'll want you because that's on a physical that's on an emotional level. Or you buy them. That's it. There's no other way. There's no in between. There's no, I loved him when he had nothing. I loved him for who he really